on your TV or on the go, on the 12 News app, Facebook, and YouTube. Good afternoon, guys. It's Paul here. We'll start with today's talker. We want to know, who is your favorite recent president? You see the votes there on your screen. Trump, Obama, G.W. Bush, Clinton, the other Bush, or Reagan. You can vote right now at 12news.com/bullhorn, or just comment down below if you're watching this show on Facebook or YouTube. We'll have the results just a few minutes from now. In the meantime, hashtag most clicked. These are the stories piquing everyone's interest right now. Final preparations are underway for President Trump's first 2020 campaign stop here in Arizona. The Keep America Great rally will be held at the Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum over at the State Fairgrounds tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Doors are set to open around 3. Safety and security are top of mind after the chaotic scene following the president's rally back in 2017. A Valley High School student has been accused of filming under the clothing of his female classmates. This is 18-year-old Austin Roberts. He's facing charges after administrators from Thunderbird High School in Northwest Phoenix called police. According to court documents, the vice principal found a large number of videos of girls on Roberts' phone. Today, a former nurse who made international headlines was back in court. Nathan Sutherland has been accused of raping and impregnating an incapacitated woman at a Hacienda Healthcare facility. He will not go on trial in February as originally planned. Sutherland's trial was expected to start on the 25th of this month, but during a court hearing today, the judge delayed the trial by 60 days. Sutherland has pleaded not guilty to those charges. Investigators say DNA from the baby boy matched his DNA. Former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg has qualified for tomorrow's Democratic debate in Las Vegas. This will mark the first time Bloomberg will take the debate stage since joining the race. He qualified after receiving 19% support in a recent poll. Bloomberg will join former Vice President Joe Biden, former Mayor Pete Buttigieg, and Senators Amy Klobuchar, Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren. You can watch that debate tomorrow night right here on 12 News, and then stick around. Team 12's Caribe Divine will be live with special behind-the-scenes coverage.
This year, Arizona will help shape the nation. We will have a major voice in this year's election. And what happens on Election Day will determine our future. The most closely watched Senate race in the country, a swing state that will determine President Trump's re-election. But this is about more than just politics and propositions. More than just liberal versus conservative, red versus blue, Republican versus Democrat. We know that we are more alike than we are different, and that there are real issues that matter to you and your family that we all care about. And that's why we want to hear from you, so we're hitting the road. Taking the 12 News Decision 2020 tracker into communities across the valley and state. Places like Glendale, Mesa, Chandler, Goodyear, Tempe. From the West Valley to the East Valley, we'll be giving you a voice about the issues you care about.
I'm concerned about all the House races.
I'm proud of what our country's ideals are.
Let's change.
This is not about politics or pundits. This is about you and your voice.
Let's turn to our Pulse on Health this afternoon. The man who led the hospital at the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak has died from the virus. The Wuhan Health Commission said all attempts were made by medical staff to cure 51-year-old Liu Shiming. The neurosurgeon made important contributions to prevention efforts. The death toll from the virus has now reached 1,800, and almost half of China's 1.3 billion population is under varying forms of travel restrictions and quarantine measures. New research reveals exposure to household cleaning products as a baby may increase the risk of childhood asthma. The Canadian study included more than 2,000 children who were exposed to soaps, detergents, and other cleaners during their first 4 months of life. They were more likely to develop asthma and wheeze by age 3 than babies not exposed to similar products. Scented and sprayed cleaners pose the highest risk for respiratory issues. Well, if you were up bright and early today, you were treated to a pretty spectacular sight. There's Crystal with our Forecast 411.
There was no hitting the snooze button this morning. Our 12 News weather watchers had to bounce out of bed with their early alarm clock to see an amazing nighttime event. Mars, the moon, and Earth lining up. And this photo was one of my favorites. Greg captured Mars here popping out from behind the moon this morning. So cool. Well, on this very day, 90 years ago, researchers at Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff had their eye on the sky, and that's when they discovered our icy dwarf planet Pluto. Some fun facts about Pluto. The surface temperature can drop as low as 400 degrees below zero. It has 5 moons, and it has an atmosphere, mostly nitrogen. Some methane and carbon monoxide make up that atmosphere. So 2 reasons to toast today to the discovery of Pluto and National Drink Wine Day. Since our temperatures are near 80 degrees, you're going to want to go for that mid-style complex wine with layers of fruit, not heavy in oak. So might I suggest a Chardonnay today? Temperatures near 80 all the way through the end of the week. Then a storm system knocks back temperatures to the 60s on Saturday with a chance for showers.
You took my son for what reason?
Could the mental health system prevent a tragedy? Or are too many recklessly released?
They get discharged back to the streets, and the vicious cycle just continues.
Tonight at 10, only on 12 News.
In other news, this story is going to make ice cream fans happy. Who's not an ice cream fan? Those always broken ice cream machines at McDonald's, you know, when you roll through at 2 in the morning and they say the thing's shut down? Well, it soon should be a thing of the past. According to Business Insider, the company is teaming up with another software company which will make an attachment for those machines. It's a device that can actually detect and fix common problems, and it's being tested right now. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos says he's putting $10 billion toward fighting climate change. The Bezos Earth Fund will support climate scientists, activists, and nonprofits. Last year, Amazon employees protested the company for its large carbon footprint, as well as selling technology to oil and gas companies and donating to politicians who still deny climate change. In response, the company pledged to be 100% renewable powered by the year 2030. The Boy Scouts of America is filing for bankruptcy protection. That organization is facing a new sex abuse lawsuit and then some. This could be the biggest, most complex bankruptcy ever seen. It involves dozens of lawyers working on behalf of thousands of men who say they were inappropriately touched by Scout leaders decades ago. The organization could be forced to sell off some of its properties to raise money for a compensation fund, which could surpass $1 billion. Now for your daily cup of juice, some bad news for Ozzy Osbourne fans and, quite frankly, rock fans around the country. The metal icon is canceling his 2020 No More Tours 2 tour to recover from various health issues he's facing. Earlier this year, Ozzy announced he has Parkinson's disease. He was supposed to perform at Auction Pavilion in July, but says he would rather cancel now so everyone gets their money back instead of canceling at the last minute. Who doesn't love Target? 8-year-old Brayden loves Target so much that she had a Target-themed birthday party at her local store. The party, topped with Target unicorns, slushies, and a good time for everybody. Brayden's aunt documented the whole celebration on Twitter. Go check it out. Time now for A to Z 60, where we celebrate the people, places, and things that make the Valley awesome in just 60 seconds. One of the semifinalists to name the next NASA Mars rover is right here from the Valley, and she's just 10 years old. Jamie caught up with the girl who was simply out of this world.
NASA is sending a rover to Mars this year, but it needs a name. So we stopped by to see Athena, who's a semifinalist. You decided on the name Ambition. How did you come up with that name?
I came up with the name Ambition because the way that NASA is just going to send this rover up to Mars, it's going to be a very ambitious journey, so why not Ambition?
Seems like a perfect name to me.
Thank you.
But Athena's ambition doesn't end there. She's an aspiring artist.
This one I did out of watercolor. This one was from a movie called Captain Marvel. And then this one was a project from school. It's called The Melfi Castle.
Singer.
I need life and I'm just a dead man walking tonight.
And a drummer.
And that's your A to Z 60.
Jamie, did you touch my drum set? I know you touched my drum set. Let's get back to today's talker before we say goodbye. We asked you at the top of the show, who's your favorite recent president? You voted at 12news.com/Bullhorn. Obama coming through with almost 2/3 of the vote, 62%. Nobody liked G.H.W. Bush, apparently. 0% of the voters. You can continue to vote. 12news.com/Bullhorn is the address. You could also do so on the 12 News app. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, feel free to comment down below. Time now for the look ahead. These are the stories you'll be talking about a little later today. Coming up on First at 4, we're wishing a very happy birthday to Pluto. You saw the dwarf planet make an appearance a little earlier in the show in Crystal Henderson's forecast. It's Pluto's 90th birthday. Well, actually, it's more than 4.5 billion years old, but we discovered it 90 years ago. And we're going to check in with the Lowell Observatory, where Pluto was discovered, to see what we've learned about our favorite planet since that day back in 1930. And that's your 12 at 12. The facts on everything you need to know in just 12 minutes of your time. No commercials. We're always on, don't forget, anywhere, anytime, on 12news.com, the 12 News app, and our social channels as well. I'll be anchoring the aforementioned 4 o'clock news. We'll see you there with Tram Mai in about, 3 hours and 49 minutes. I'll be busy in the meantime. See you on social media. And as Crystal told us, the weather's warming up and there's a lot to do, so let's check in with Destry for a sneak peek of some of the fun on Arizona Midday.
Coming up on Arizona